All right, everybody, welcome to the I Disagree podcast. You know, I can honestly say the reason why we've named it I Disagree is because it's two words I believe that have not only changed my life, but we all wouldn't be sitting here if we didn't say I disagree. So here's basically what we stand for. In the past 3 years, there has been more disagreements, controversies, opinions, ideas, failed expectations, character reveals, surprises, disappointments, lies, beliefs, assumptions, and bullshit than ever before. Here we go. You guys ready for the first one? Aloha. We are live here in Hawaii, and I have been gone for the last couple weeks. Great job on the show over the last couple weeks since I've been traveling over, so welcome. We are in Hawaii, as you can see from our nice little live graphic right there. Some people walking on the beach. If you look way down there, we get the view of the beach right now. It's kind of nice sitting out here. So welcome. We're here in Maui, Hawaii, doing a lot of business out here. We also decided, since we're doing some business out here, to fly a bunch of the team out here and do our show. So we've got a smaller show today. We're going to have some pretty cool discussions and stuff like that. But yes, so we're not going to have much for intros today.
You gonna remember to do yours?
I will do mine.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I hope so.
Yes, that's right. Because, you know, sometimes now that I'm a guest, I'm more of a guest now. So it's kind of fun. So
We should have you sit in the guest chair one time.
That would be awesome.
Just a random person with the hood on.
That's right. Put over
No,
there. Throw my glasses on. Copy Lorenzo.
Incognito.
You're saying throw the hood up and throw the sunglasses on.
No.
We already have someone-
No.
We already have someone in the chat saying, I would have suffered as a guest with you, Dr. Patrick.
Well, we tried to invite
Well,
people like
you
crazy
should've
for
come here.
guests, and it's like, yes. But before we get started though, I have to say this: we posted this on Instagram. We crossed 300,000 followers on Instagram. Thank you very much for everybody that I put a nice post out there this morning, just thanking our team and thanking everybody, thanking Miranda, and everybody working so hard on our Instagram. And our YouTube continues to grow, so thank you everybody that's kind of working on there. And it's really funny. I put it out that I wanted a YouTube expert. I want to see how people are going to respond. And it was really funny. I had people respond, I'm an expert. I'm like, well, then tell me what the heck you're an expert doing there. I'm an expert. What do you mean? And she's like, it was kind of funny. It was like I was trying to get them to give me a little bit more, but maybe because they're computer people, they're just not that much of a conversationalist. So it was kind of a fun post yesterday.
Likely.
But yes, so we are here. I can't believe it. It's one of my favorite places to have. We are at the Andaz Resort. We have this beautiful villa. And like I said, you guys saw our view from out there. So, but let's get started. And we're going to run the show a little bit differently today. But welcome to our two co-hosts. Guys, introduce yourself as always.
Ladies first.
Yes.
I will. My name is Dana. I am 34. I've been married for 9 years. I have two boys that are 6 and 8. I went to school for accounting. I used to be a CPA. I did taxes for 10 years and then decided that definitely was not for me. So I switched gears there and did clinical nutrition. And just because of my passion for natural health and stuff. And now I obviously help with this podcast. And I have a social media account called Dana Disagrees on TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. And you should also make sure to check it out because I have a viral video that has 14 million views on it right now.
14 million views. That's pretty awesome.
14
million?
14.3.
14.3 and getting up there. That's pretty awesome and stuff. So welcome, Travis. Who are you?
I am Travis. Thanks for asking. Just kidding. All right, no, so yeah, I'm Travis. I'm 42 years old. I've been part of the Wellness Way for over 2 years now, and I'm happy to be here. My wife is here. Been married for 10 years. I work at the Wellness Way. I wear many hats. I love all of them. And I'm sorry if I seem a little off today. I'm very stressed just in the location that we're in. It's been very frustrating all day.
I made you
Doc-
come here.
Doc made me come to Hawaii. It was horrible. So just bear with me today. Just give me a lot of grace.
Yeah, and you suffered on the boat this morning.
It was horrible. I mean, then I had to snorkel and look at fish in a squid.
It was so sunny. Just
Yes.
got in my eyes. I couldn't handle it.
And that water was salty.
Yeah. Oh,
Frustrated.
yeah.
I'll tell you.
It was bad.
What was a joke about whales?
Inappropriate.
Yeah.
Inappropriate content.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure.
I mean, it's not a kid's show, but
nothing
like,
inappropriate happens here. So, yeah, no, it's pretty awesome. So, well, welcome, guys. So, we're going to do a little bit different today. And yes, my name is Patrick Flynn. There we go. So, I've been married for 22 years, 4 daughters. Man, I've been married combined more than you two put together.
Yep.
That's crazy, man. That's been a long time.
It just makes you old, I think.
I didn't even say just because you're much older than us.
Yes.
Not
You
much,
know,
actually.
Travis, when he got married 10 years, he's like, I said, Travis, what's it been like being married 10 years? He said, it feels like 5 minutes underwater. No. You like that one? That's right. Sarah's laughing at that one.
Yes,
That's
yes,
pretty
he
good
likes
right
it.
there. I don't care here. That's funny. Okay, so yeah, it's like it's like 5 minutes underwater. So, oh, that's fun. All right. Anyways, so that being said, yes. So let's go back to this. In the past 3 years, there has been more disagreements, controversies, opinions, ideas, failed expectations, character reveals, surprises, disappointments, lies, beliefs, assumptions, and bullshit ever than before. You know, when we sat down, we wrote that in the first time.
I know.
Literally,
First
we were
shot.
saying we
That
are
was
doing
it.
this, and it was that we wrote that down, and I was sitting there typing, and no joke, we haven't changed it.
Nope.
We've looked at it many times, saying it just represents what we do so well. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that. I mean, you know, the last 3 years have been. We're going to talk about that, and we're talking about something that's going to be quite interesting related to Hawaii today.
Right. Well,
So-
we will have to change it next year because we'll have to change it the last 4 years.
4 years, yes, that's true.
That's it.
That's true.
All the other adjectives
Good
can
point,
stay.
'cause it
Nouns,
yeah.
whatever.
That's right. So the purpose is to correlate with a different perspective on the 4 topics we absolutely love: health, men and women, politics, religion. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people, I had another viral video go crazy just talking about, you know, women and their hormones. And it's funny because, you know, I always want to say this. If the medical field has the hormones right, then I wouldn't even have a job.
Right.
Let me make that very
I
clear.
agree.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's really funny. They call it alternative medicine, which I hate that term.
Me too.
It's just a different form of taking care of yourself, different form of healthcare, because people are like the standard sucks. It's like this: private schools existed because public schools suck.
Yeah.
That's why they had to
Yeah.
do something different, and they have to call them different. It's private school. Well, it means what? It means we're sick of what the government pays for, so we're going to privately fund it, and we're going to do it that way and pick our own way of education.
Yep.
And that's like Christian schools, or any of them that way. They just they moved away from the norm because the basics. You know, it's really funny if you think about this. Schools should be more fundamental of just some basic things, and that's when if you want to do something different, then you just take on extra college or extra kind of things that way. But what it does is like some of the most basic stuff is so bad you don't even want your kids exposed to it. You know,
Yeah.
anything. You know, it's really funny. It's getting crazier out there, but anything government funded. You know, even that's one thing. Even the military. Sorry, I know everybody is like so pro-military. Which one's going? You gotta have a great military. Gotta have a great defense. I'm all for that. But it's ran like shit.
Oh, you're
It's
right.
'cause the
So
government
much waste.
touched it.
It's government. You say, and the government has to run the military. But the idea is this: it's like, man, if I ran my business that started with $500 and now has became a massive company all over the world, if I ran it like the government runs anything,
You wouldn't have business.
no business would be closed. It'd be basic economics or basic. You know, it's really funny. It's like I was thinking about this the other day. One thing that I do love about competition is even internal competition. It keeps everybody on their toes. It's one thing it does. It says somebody can come steal my job. You're saying someone can take away something of value that I have and stuff. And it's like, but you know, it's really funny if you put yourself that in a relationship wise. Wouldn't that be kind of fun if people understood that there's always competition?
Right.
You're saying, well, no, I'm married. Someone could steal your wife.
Especially
So
nowadays.
you better not get fat. You better not get lazy. You better not get broke.
Yep.
You better not have a bad mindset. Some other guy's gonna steal your girl, or some other girl's gonna steal your guy.
And that's
You
why the
saying?
divorce is like, what, 65% or something like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's really funny. I don't know the true stats anymore because I know a lot of people say, well, that's if second marriages are thrown there. So maybe someone could post the stats what it really is. And I know it's above 40% just in general for first marriages. So maybe we can kind of look at that way. But we'll go from there. But
I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Oh, you know something, Dana?
What?
Dana, don't be mad at me. What's our topics tonight? I gotta find the text message you sent me. As you know,
Is it on your computer?
No, not these.
I
not
have 'em.
these. I think I have in my email here. It's like
Oh.
or my text message here that she sent me.
Do you want me to just state them?
We could do that since we're just having good discussion today.
We're not going to do the I agree and I disagree thing, considering we all came up with these together, so
yeah,
we can
let's
just
say-
agree to just all say I agree.
Let's just all say I disagree with all things that we say. So let's do this.
I was wondering how we were going to do that tonight. 'Cause that would be very anticlimactic to see what everybody says.
It is. Well, the one thing that we want to do is we want to say hi to our. Let's take a camera view of some of our team sitting down by the pool right now. They're gonna. Let's wave to them. There we go. They're waving back to us. You can see they're down by the pool doing awesome stuff. So,
Yeah, there's a bunch of them
dude,
down
you know what
there.
we're gonna do now? We're gonna do this because since we only have a couple of us, it's gonna be Eric. Come over for a second. So he's got the camera. Joshua, come over for a second.
Yeah.
And then Travis, I know you're running the camera, Travis, but come over for a second. Just say hi to everybody.
Let's do it anyway.
And then, yeah, come on. These guys brought all this equipment, so there's lights,
Yes.
there's camera, there's action. There's all these behind there. So
Yes,
these guys
thank
doing
you
that way.
guys.
Thank you guys.
These guys are the best.
Love you guys.
But
Appreciate it.
now I have to do something very special, and she is in her bikini, so it's okay. Miranda, come over here. Miranda, you're going to be showing everybody in your bikini, okay? But because, like I said, I will tell you this. When I first started, like I said, I got 300,000. We have to give so much credit to Miranda on that. We have a wonderful team. I never want to take away from anybody's great things, but
Good job, Miranda.
Really, 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 yeah. It's so she when she started, she was working at the Green Bay Clinic, and she just was obsessive compulsive like me. And I love. We've talked about this one time. I was golfing the other day and shot really well, and had some of our docs with us and some of our friends with us that way. They're like, Doc, it's like everything we do with you, you're good at. I'm like, guys, do you understand? I only do a couple things.
Yes, so you're only doing the things that you're good
if
at.
you ask me to go play basketball, you're like, Doc sucks. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to see me play basketball. Or it's like, I only talk about things that I really know, and I will debate you until the damn dead that way. But if there's a subject I don't know about, I am quiet as a church mouse. I will just literally sit there and just listen. And I tell people it's like, and so that's why I never want to take away. But Miranda was obsessive compulsive, which once again, just like me, I'm obsessive compulsive with things I love. And we started to do Instagram, and just next thing you know, 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, and it's kind of great. And then with the team and all their creativity, just the things, just like yours, like you and Eric.
And Eric, the tall guy you saw. That's Eric.
Yes, Eric. Once again, I knew that you guys would click. See, one thing I will say is, I'm very great at picking out talent.
You are.
I see the gifts in people.
I agree.
I agree.
You agree with that? That's like when I was looking for a baby mama, I said, okay, I got to find one that can pop me out 4 awesome girls. That's not talent. That's a talent seeker right there. Okay. So
Mission accomplished.
my 4 girls are amazing. Okay. But no, it's kind of funny. But no, I said it's just I'm very good at seeing people's gifts. Just I don't know why. I could just see a person and they could have a fucked up, shitty life, and I could look at them and go, oh man, they have some great stuff about what would be awesome. And all right, now here's one thing. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say this for your friend.
Oh, thank you. Great, wonderful.
I don't know. Being a Christian person myself, people freak out because they say fuck, or I don't do the standard way people live church out that way and everything. But it's kind of funny. Oh, now I lost my train of thought because of that.
My friend. Somebody friend. You're gonna pick on my friend again.
No, I was gonna pick on her. She was gonna like it. Oh, here we go. So here's what happens. This is what I believe. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, but maybe I believe that your friends can agree with me on this. Is God has given every person, no matter how much I even hate them, because I hate a lot of people. I hate most people, to tell you the truth. And so no matter how much I hate them, God gave them some amazing gift that benefits the world.
She would agree.
That's just my belief. That's why I believe every person, regardless if they're horrible individuals, they have intrinsic value. That's why we have to value life. Even though I despise most people. I really do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, that's why when people are like, Doc, I can't believe this person did this. I'm like, why? Most people are not that nice. Most people are not that good.
Right.
On the flip side, people think everybody's nice. I'm like, that's why you're disappointing everybody. You say, and no, Ocean's Vodka did not sponsor our show today. No, it's kind of cool. These are for my mother. It's organic vodka they make from.
Grenade!
We went up to the farm, and they have the organic farm up here because I love organic farming. So obviously I don't drink any alcohol. I just don't drink any alcohol. It's just me. I know a lot of people do. All you guys do. I just don't. And
I stay away from it.
Yes.
We should take a shot every time Doc says something. Like, you know what I mean? Like one of his isms.
My isms?
Yeah.
They're great isms. Okay,
they're a great ism, but we should shot for everyone.
That's right.
Be fun. Be an interesting.
Wait, then
I don't either because I don't drink.
Then Aaron will have to go in the other room and get the big bottle.
Yeah, we all drink one.
There's a big bottle in there.
And then my father beat me. And I don't remember his name.
Yes. So I believe that everybody has some massive talent that God has given. And I just think if people really dig for that, I think they would succeed in life dramatically. And that's why I think so let me say this, and I've taken this into the business world too. I look at my daughters, and once again, they're Christianized daughters. Okay, they're our kids, but they don't have the same gifts that we do. And that's why when people try to portray what the kids, they should be like them or live through them that way, it's like kids have different gifts,
right? And
it's our job to find out what it is and extract that out of them.
Yeah.
You see, and that's why it's like, and I'll give you an example. When we started to become friends, and I knew you for a while, but we just would say hi to each other, or someone would come up and see the rally, things that way. Yeah. But then when you caught my attention that that vaccine thing when you really stood up and I was like, okay. And then immediately, remember when you said, and I said, you're going to do content and Eric is going to be your guy.
Yep, you're right.
And I said, with Eric's creativity and everything and your personality and stuff like that, I'm like, Eric will be able to put that on camera and you'll have videos go viral. And I guarantee there's people that didn't believe me at first. You saying? I'm like, no, watch. I just know what the public needs to hear, know what needs to see that way.
Right.
And of course, then all of a sudden it's like, here, and it goes up, and then boom. You know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of cool. So that's why even the I Disagree podcast, I knew it was going to do well. I just knew it was. I mean, because, we have the most talented people.
Obviously.
Behind and in front of the camera. So that's a good part.
And
so,
you are very good at that. You are very good at finding people. And the
And
best
recruiting
thing is
them.
he's also kind of like a weatherman, but he's more accurate than a weatherman, of course.
I was going to say, wait, I find the weatherman all the time.
No. But no, he can predict. Like even with me, I've seen you do this with many people. Whether they're going to quit, you and I think this way, or they're going to get hired. And even with me, you told your dad in 2020, you said it was the Christmas event when everyone else shut down and we opened up, and that's when security was an issue for you. That's a long story, but you told your dad in the entrance of the new facility, he'll be working for me in 6 months. He was close. It was 8 months.
Yep. Yep. But it was a good prediction.
First time I met you, that was when I was having lunch or getting coffee or something with him, and he said the same thing. You're like, yeah, 6 months, and I'm like, not at all, not happening, not happening.
You have no idea.
I'm like, it's not happening.
It's already done. You just got the fingerprint.
And it was like 2 months later, I think.
And now what? 30 million views of videos and sitting in Hawaii and sitting on the boat and doing stuff like that. It's kind of fun.
Just so stressful.
I know.
So stressful.
I know. But so we have a lot of our team here. It's kind of nice, and like I said, so we got to give credit to where I don't think with all the people out there that do wonderful things or even some influencers, things like that, they don't give the behind the scenes people enough credit.
Right.
Agree.
Right. To make it run.
I can't.
That's what makes it run.
When it was like 2 a.m, I was texting Miranda. We did 300,000. We did 300,000. It was kind of cool. It was kind of fun. So, anyways, let's get on to our topics of today. And of course, we're going to discuss these. And you know what we're going to do? We're going to have a little fun. Since we have everybody sitting here, we'll get a little feedback from them a little bit too, and everything.
Yeah.
And stuff. So, yes. But what we could do, we could bring Sarah, Christy, and Aaron up so they can jump behind and say hi for a quick second to everybody.
Yeah, come on.
Too. Come on back here.
Make sure you speak into the mic.
Well, they're not gonna say anything. They're just gonna wave at
They're
everybody. They're just gonna come.
just there to be pretty.
Yes. Say hi to mom. Say hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And so that's
I'm Miranda's mom.
Did you say Brandon's mom?
Miranda.
Oh, Miranda's mom. Like Brandon's mom. Like, how is Brandon's mom involved in this? So awesome. All right. So say hi to everybody and stuff like that. So all right. So it's kind of cool. And we have all the kids now, all the people, and my mom. Oh, my mom is here. She's probably got the big bottle of this and that.
She's got the kids, right?
That's right. So she's watching the
She's
kids.
fine.
No, we also got Beth here, and we have Jessica and everybody. So it's kind of fun. So, all right. So we got a couple topics that we want to talk about, and what a better one to start with, because I think this is not debatable between us, but I think we're going to do this. We're going to debate from a standpoint of, I know we agree on this because we've done this, but let's kind of debate from the opposite side too on this one today, okay? Because if you look at this one, here's the statement I believe: the life you live is the life you created.
Oh, you're going with that one first, eh?
I'm going with that one first.
Oh, okay.
Because the reason why is the life you live is the life you created.
Oh, there's your mom.
Mom's here. Hey,
Say hey.
mom, your vodka. So, the big. They thought you had it there before. She's looking for the big bottle of oceans.
I love
my mother. She's awesome.
Just mic her up.
Just mic her up. Yeah, mic her up.
Just mic her up.
She
See what happens.
She got the big bottle. She walked through.
She'll come back in a half hour for munchies.
Hey,
Hey.
chips. We do have the kettle chips and stuff. So
Someone go pick me up some barbecue.
barbecue. No fish. We're in Hawaii.
Fish. Tuna.
So, yes. Anyways, so let's go back to this. And I want to talk about this because a lot of people say this all the time. And Eric and I had a great talk about this the other day before I left. He was, no joke, Eric was 9 o'clock at night, and he was still jamming out working. All of a sudden, I had to come grab something for the office because I left there a little later because we were just getting ready because I was leaving. You know, it's really sad. When I left, I was be gone for 5 weeks. When I came back in, Eric was still there with jamming music, working, stuff like that. And we just paused and talked for a minute because I wouldn't see him for a good week because he was going to be gone and I was leaving for a year. And but it's really funny.
For here, not a year.
For,
Yeah, I heard the same
gone
thing.
for 5 weeks, okay? the life you live is the life you created. And a lot of people say this, and a lot of people said this to Eric. We talked about this, but a lot of people say, oh man, aren't you just excited to get away? And see, people that don't know me used to say that to me, but nobody says to me anymore because I'm always surrounded by people that I love and stuff like that. But the idea is this, is like, oh, aren't you excited to get away? And my response would be from what? The life you created? Mm-hmm. You know what's really funny? It's like people, and they'll always say, well, my job. Well, you chose that. Mm-hmm. Well, my kids. Well, you decide to have them. My marriage. Well, you decide to marry them. It's like, how do you, and really what really changes if your life sucks in Wisconsin, coming to Hawaii? So let's go through this. Let's go. And I want you guys. So I want you to give some devil's advocate, but I know you guys agree with me. So explain why you agree. But then, so like I said, the life you live is a life you've created. Dana, we'll start with you, and so you agree or disagree?
I agree.
Of course, I agree. Okay, but also let's do this. So tell me why you agree. It's like I said. It's like you did it. You were saying everything that you chose. And stuff like that. And I know people tell me about circumstances, but there's a point where circumstances don't mean anything anymore. And I think I created a statement the other day where we're going to talk about childhood trauma in a second. But let's go into this.
Well, okay. I think about my life in this, right? Because I'm kind of like living this statement out, right? Like you all heard me earlier say that I used to be a CPA and I've, switched away from that and stuff. And I look at my life right now and I'm simultaneously very tired and also very energized, right? Because I'm doing a lot of things. I'm doing a lot of things that I really, really love. And so that can be tiring sometimes, especially, for women, obviously, if we're going to bring the health piece in. Yep. But then also I'm doing all of the things that energize me finally. So I have the energy to do this all the time, which is pretty amazing because I'm creating the life that I want. But I had this cushy job. I had this very, very cushy job as a CPA. I would have had, I don't know, a huge book of business just handed to me within, the next 5 years. And I would have been able...
What do you mean book of business?
Like when you're a CPA, like at the partner level, for sure, and you have clients, like your book of business is like, okay, this client pays 10 grand in a year and this one pays 5 grand, and so all that added up, that's a book of business.
Got it.
And I would have just had that handed over to me based on the partners that I was working with and retirement ages and, stuff like that. And I worked with great people and there was no HR, so I could run my mouth as much as I wanted. If I was going to stay a CPA, I would have stayed working there, but that just ultimately wasn't for me. But I mean, I left this super, super cushy, easy, very comfortable thing to completely switch careers because, I mean, that's a 180 that I did there. And that's, pretty hard to do. But I wouldn't have been, really living in like an authentic self if I would have stayed with what I was doing. And so, like I said, I'm tired, but I'm not tired at the same time, in all of this. And I just look at my life. And I also look at like, okay, well, a year ago at this time, I was thinking about, because it was November. It was a year ago at this time, I was thinking about, I really do need to start a podcast, but I don't know what kind of equipment I need. I don't know how to do the lighting. I don't know how to do any of the editing. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know how long it's going to be. I don't know who I should, all these barriers that I have to entry in it, but I just know that I should be doing something like that. And then it was just handed to me. And then I also knew I needed someone to help with social media because I don't want to make reels and shit like that by myself because I don't want to do any of that editing and I don't want to do the lighting and I don't want to do any of that, but I know that I can walk in the door and just do it, but that's light years away and who knows if I'll ever even, get to that point and poof, now it's here. And that's really... I have
to correct you one thing you said though.
Go ahead. What, poof?
No.
Oh.
No. Nothing was handed to you.
Well, okay, hang on. That's my next part of my soliloquy here. The very next part of my soliloquy here is that it probably looks to a lot of people, because I know this is happening out there, at least with some people, it probably looks to them like I did just walk in the door one day and just sit down and get everything handed to me. But the reality is I've actually been working at this for 10 years, for solidly 10 years to get to the point that I am today so that I could walk in the room and sit down and make the content that I am and sit here and talk. Well, it's taken that long.
And that's where it's kind of good we start with this way. When we were at the conference, and I was up on stage and you were in the crowd, and then you asked a question that the person you asked it to totally blew the question. And you stood up in front of everybody, and then he kind of knocked your question down. I'm like, and you kind of stood up. I'm like, okay, no, she's got something to say that way. And I'm like, okay, and I knew you from before. I'm like, no, that's a voice that gets out there.
Right.
It's going to shine a little bit. So that's why when all of a sudden when you and Eric started doing videos, it was like, because then that brought a lot of attention to what we're doing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So nothing, because here's what happens this. there's a lot of people that come to me and say, both males and females, do you know what I'm saying? And they'll say, can, doc, we do this? I'm like going, okay, well, what substance do you have? And no joke, women depend on their looks, men depend on like they're just got, I'm like going, that's not gonna, no, what's your message?
Right.
Do you say, and is it different from everybody else? That's the thing. So it's like, and the one thing is this, and you've experienced this already. I've read some of your comments and it's kind of funny. It's like,
They're pretty good.
That's my point, is like going, there's a lot of people that can't handle the media because of the criticism that comes with it. You say, remember, 50% of people may like you, but 50% of people will hate you, both male and female.
Right. I gotta work to increase that hate a little bit though. Some people like me a little much. I gotta really zone in on who I want following.
Yeah. Yes. I personally, that's what I said. What's the old saying? It's better to go, deep than wide. I know. Okay.
Okay. Well,
it's a media thing because your content's got to go deep.
Porn?
Would you watch this? No. Would you rather have 300,000 followers that are all in deep, or would you have a million people that just pop on your content that are just?
Well, it's because you don't want just followers. You want true fans, because those are the ones who stay with you.
And the cool thing is, a lot of people don't realize this. I can honestly tell you, I've answered probably 200 questions on Instagram today. And then Dr. Lucas and my other people helping me, they answer the rest by ideas because I get over 1,000 a day. And so what happens is, so I try to, because I massively like it, engage with those people. And it's like, and they're like, who is this? I'm like, it's Dr. Patrick. And so then I'll talk about them back. I'm like, oh, I can't believe it's you. I'm like, why? It's my page.
Right.
It's like, but I tell people that Dr. Lucas and our people help me out on it that way, because I said, so I'd rather have 300,000 people that I can engage with than actually just say, okay, there's 1 million people following you. And that's why people don't get a lot of engagement and stuff. And we get a ton of it that way. So
it's just fun to mess with people in the comments too sometimes.
Yeah. There's going to be an element of, you want not just to say words, right? You want like your one that
content.
Your content was very high. You got a lot of views because it was an important topic to people. So you have to bring some sort of meat and potatoes to the whole.
A lot of intentionality. I'm very, very intentional with how I write this stuff and how I want to say it.
Well, I encourage people to do this one time. Walk up to your office and actually look at your board, but then look at your notebook. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, your notebook, because you write things down. You can tell that you tell the old CPAs in you, because what happens is so precise. It happens, and then you watch the videos. It's so precise. So first you've done things, and it's and there's so much pre-work put in.
There is.
That when you and Eric get together in studio and do it, it's now that's just. But remember, and I don't mean this negatively. There's some people that just don't have that talent.
Right.
There's it's really funny. You guys are gonna find this really funny. And Christy's here. You can ask her this, okay? Do you know that I never ever ever tried to be ahead of anything? Not a joke. I never tried to want to own business. It was almost like everything I did kept on pushing me to the top. Not a joke. People don't realize this. People I never sit up and I said, something, I'm just gonna develop a big practice. Nope, I just knew I had a good idea. And then what happens, do you know that I tried to join, Chrissy, how many organizations? 3 or 4? 4 or 5 that were just healthcare companies that, were coaching doctors or doing some things that way. I tried to join them. And the one time, get this. So you're going to laugh at this story. It's a funny one. Okay. And I was down in Florida and I got asked to speak at a seminar. So I did my speaking. It turned out extremely well. And then what ended up happening was I got asked to come back. All right. And the owner of the seminar, what they did is they have main stage and breakout rooms and everything. Main stage held about probably maybe, don't quote me, maybe 400 or 500 people that way. And then the breakout room held maybe 150 and everything. So then they had the main guy, him speaking on the main stage. They had me speaking in the breakout room. Guess what happened? The breakout room was so full that the over people are sitting on the floor doing it that way, and barely anybody was in his thing. So I had to teach for roughly 3 hours. An hour and a half in the way, they stopped it. And because he was so mad that people wanted to hear me more than they wanted to hear him. And I was just doing my thing. I was just teaching the things. I was teaching physiology, all biochemistry and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. And it was really funny. And then all of a sudden, when they stopped it, I respected the person. Said, okay, if he wants everybody to go back in, we're done. They were pissed. The doctors were mad as can be and stuff like that. And, but long story short is, and then all of a sudden I get a call 2 days later said, and they're like, oh, we're just going to go a different direction. We don't want you to be there anymore and stuff. We got, but then that's all right because about a couple months of that, he got in trouble, and you can go look it up. He actually stole $1.2 million from orphans that were stuff like that. So,
What a nice
yeah,
Wonderful.
I know. But don't worry, he just no cellar detox. But anyways, we'll leave it that way. But long story short, what happened is every time I go and I teach, not a joke, I'm not, and it sounds really arrogant, I became more popular than people who owned the company. It did. And I was like, and I'm like going, all right. Then I just got ticked off. I'm like, I'm just going to do my own thing. That's why people don't realize this. Do you know the Wellness Way itself, when I first started it was just clinics I owned. The other doctors that came on as a brand just kept their own name. Do you know that? That's why I was, people think it's like, I said, I'm just going to go, I'm going to start a brand. No, it's just that what happened is every time I did something, it just seemed to
Take
rise
off,
to the
yeah.
top. And so all of a sudden was like, I just really just never tried to do anything. I just said, okay, I'm just going to put out the best. Then the cool thing is when I started to go, okay, no, now we're going to be the best organization. And then I always go, I'm going to find the best people to do stuff. So that's why it was easy to now put Miranda in place, put Eric in place, put you in place, and all the people. And I can look at Aaron, look at our writing team now. Do you know what I'm saying? Look at our journalists, look at our media team, look at all the things that we have. That comes from now being able to be able to see those God-given gifts to your friend, God-given gifts that God gave everybody, but then teaching you guys how to do it, and you start spying that.
Right.
And then so it's not handed.
It just appears to be that way.
It appears because
Sometimes.
you know why? Okay, let's call a spade a spade. Okay, let's do this. You ever looked at some people's gifts and they don't use them, and you're like, "Damn, I wish I had those." You know what I'm saying? And I think that's envy, so we're not supposed to envy anybody. But
Right.
sorry, I think every one of us in this room just envied somebody, something or another. I'm sorry, let's give a dramatic example. If you're a basketball player, everybody's like, I wish I had Michael Jordan's God-given talent.
Yeah.
No, wrong. He worked at, but everybody can work at talent and doesn't have Michael Jordan's talent.
Right.
There's a God-given gift that just some people just
have
that
it,
way.
yeah.
And if they develop it, now they're unstoppable. You say, and so it's like, so we kind of look at some people's talents and go, man, why don't I have that way? And we have to
I wish I could sing.
What's
That will.
that?
I said I wish I could sing. That will never, ever, ever happen, no matter how much work I put into it.
That is a good point. It's like,
Just won't.
I always tell people, if you ever look at my singing, do you ever watch like American Idol? The people
bad
who
ones?
get up there and they think they can sing and they're really horrible. Well, see that,
She begged.
that's,
No, but fashion next
but that's not me though, because I would be like, I suck. Okay, I'm gonna sing for you. You know what I'm saying? Because I cannot sing. It's a really good point. Just no matter how much you try, no matter you could love music, you could study it,
Yep.
you could obsess with it, you're still gonna suck.
Yep.
You know. So yeah. So Travis, what do you think then? The life you've lived, because we're gonna come back and say we're gonna play devil's advocate on this one. The life
So,
you
yeah, I have
live
things
is
for
the
that.
life you created.
So, if I went back to 1999, I would have stayed with you and probably been employed. And I'm telling that for a reason, because during that time where I thought you were nuts because I was still indoctrinated by the world, I lived a life where I was told by the public schools, who suck, by the way, you suck, public schools, and I'm very disappointed in you. That's a whole other conversation. But you told me I was no good. I couldn't sit still. I was all these things. I was just unhealthy. I was just different. God made me different. He gave me gifts that didn't conform to this world, or to the public school system and the government. Anyways, I just thought I was going to be in trucking my whole life because I was good, and people liked me. I learned that I loved people, so I was always around people. So I tolerated my career for 20 years, and it was the biggest mistake. And I was always angry. And a Sunday morning would come. Even, and Sarah, you can even confirm this. There'd be Saturday nights where I'd be anxious to go back to work on Monday because I hated it that much. I felt shitty all day Sunday. I just was. Anyways, so I created that life, and then I came here, and you found my talents, my skills, and you're now putting me in the seat of the bus that I belong, and I'm thriving in it, and I'm growing, and you're always challenging me. I'm always content but never satisfied.
Yep.
Whether or not I believe in that, I have to, because you won't let me think otherwise.
Yeah.
And that's okay, and that's what I need, and I think you know that. So if I'm allowing myself to be put in this situation, I'm taking it head on, and I'm creating a life that I want. That's why I agree with the statement. My life's changing, my salary's changing, my responsibility's growing. I'm becoming a stronger person, not just in the weight room and throwing a fist. It's more than that. It's, there's a lot more life than that. So I'm creating my life as a more well-rounded situation, and I'm in a much better spot because of it, because I created it. I accepted the challenges.
So let me ask you guys a question then. Dana, why don't you go first on this one? But what if you grew up with shitty parents? What if your parents were divorced? What if you live in a bad area? What if you, because, your parents, had decent jobs. You lived in the middle class family, things like that. So what about the people that, like I said, that our circumstances don't dictate to where we've ended up in life?
Well, that's just too damn bad, and it's tough, and you still need to be able to rise above all of that. I grew up actually in not really middle class, like really more like lower class, and we didn't have a lot of money for like a whole lot of things, and I had to be able to get past that in my life and work for everything that I have, right? I remember, I don't know if this is still classic in college, but it was, at least when I was going, that I remember every kid who had their way paid for them, they fucked around the whole entire time, and it was only like us kids who actually had to like pay our own way, that we actually put in the work for the things that we were doing and actually did the homework and showed up to class and were responsible and all of those kinds of things. And it just, it drives me nuts, because personal responsibility is just so incredibly important, and our country is losing that. We're losing what that means to just be, okay, so Andy Frisella, right? I listen to him a lot. So personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. That's his slogan that he says all the time. We're losing this ability to be personally excellent in our life, regardless of what our circumstances is. It doesn't really matter if you've been on meds for however long, figure out how to get out of them. That's not medical advice. It doesn't really matter if whatever happened with your parents or your siblings or anything like that when you were growing up, everybody has the ability to be able to overcome anything that they want to. It's just a matter of whether they want to put in the work, because the work is really, 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 really hard. And it's hard to see other people who maybe have a little, leg up on you or have a little bit of an advantage. Well, like, create the advantage for somebody else then. I don't know. I cannot stand that sometimes, because I've had to work to overcome a lot of things and get past things that are, whether it's the scarcity versus abundance mindset when that comes to money or time or anything like that. You're all capable of doing it. It's just whether do you want to put in the work or not.
But Travis, remember, you worked at a church and you were a pastor for a long time for youth that way. But remember, kids don't have the circumstances that you did, and I know your mom and dad, they're awesome, and so you were lucky and you were blessed, and so therefore, that's why you are. No, you're lucky. You know what I'm saying? It's like you had the advantages that we didn't have. Having a dad that coached football, had a good job, and a mom and stuff like that. So it's like there's people that just have bad luck.
Yes, sure. Well, here's the thing, kind of going back to that. I thought the story of Shannon Sharpe and Sterling Sharpe came to mind, because Shannon Sharpe got inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame. I don't watch NFL anymore. I'm 4 years sober. But but I watched the Hall of Fame, I want to say like 2018 or something like that, whatever. And they showed the story of where Sterling and Shannon came from, this like one house, like a one-room house. I mean, we talk about mold and all these things and toxins in the air. I mean, if any home had it was theirs. And those two decided, you know what, I'm not going to just sit here. I'm not just going to be nothing and be a number, So they worked hard, and one's in the Hall of Fame, and if one didn't hurt his neck earlier on, he should have been. And arguably, he still could be in the Hall of Fame. So my point is, you work hard. Yes, I don't want to spill too much, because this kind of goes into our next statement that we're going to go into. But yeah, you just have to work harder. That's it. You just have to work harder.
No one cares. Work harder.
Yeah, bingo. You know what? Erin at work, love Erin. She's got the best roundhouse right kick ever. But anyways, she's got a saying on her screensaver. It says, "No one gives a shit. Work harder."
Yep.
And that's true. No one gives a shit. Guess what? Death doesn't care. It's still coming for you. It doesn't give a shit. Get back to work.
Yeah, and most people, and we talked about this. I think I had talked with hey, you're gonna love this one. The Valet guy, we were having some good conversation, because I've come back here a lot, and he knows us, he knows our company, and it was kind of neat, and all of a sudden it was kind of funny, and I was just talking about just the aspect of people care, and it was a big thing he watched one of my videos when I talked about it. I said, listen, the farther away you are from people, the less you care about what happens to them. I know it's really funny. Now this is really sad saying this why, but come on, this is reality. And remember, one thing we always said, we'd always be honest and talk about things this way. There's not many people here in this room that really cared about the fire that happened here a couple months ago.
I agree. In fact, I would even say I was more concerned about the conspiracy theories behind it versus the actual cause or the actual.
Well, hear the news and I'm like, well, that's a lie. I wonder what happened.
No, they're wrong. And now for people that live here and there's relations here and so that, there's going to be more, connection and caring, because remember the old saying is the farther you get away from people, the less you care about them. And we'll go to the extreme. We know there's people that died of starvation. There's people that died of infections that could have been taken care of by something simple. We know there's things, and really we're sitting in a massive high-end best hotel in Maui, not really caring. Now I know. Now I'm going to bring that up. I'm saying, and none of you guys in this room really give a shit. Because if you did, you'd say, take all that money and give it to that way. Because you're what's that rule again?
Dunbar's number.
Dunbar's number.
There's
There's only a certain amount of people you can care about in your community. And because I tell people, like I said, and I love this statement, and I didn't realize this was going to impact some people. Have came and said, Doc, I love that statement he said. With my family and friends, I'm a communist. You know what I'm saying? It's like I want to take care of them. I do. It's just by nature. You know what I'm saying? And then with your community, I'm a Democrat. Let's do it together. Okay. With the let's say farther out, I'm a Republican. Say there's self-responsibility you all have. And with the world, I'm libertarian, saying you do you, I do me. You know what I'm saying? And leave us alone. Otherwise, there can be some problems. And it's kind of funny. It's like, because the farther you get out, so that's why when we look at what happened here in Maui when we were in Wisconsin. I know it sounds really weird. You know, I was concerned about Dr. Katie, who's here, and Dana and stuff that are here, because obviously we care about them, things that, and made sure I even checked them right away, make sure they're okay that way. And they're like, nope, we're safe. And then there was other people dying around them, but you didn't really have any emotional connection or even cared that much. No. Now, you don't want to see any human being suffer, I know, but we have to have these real talks. That's why. That's one thing I love our podcast here.
Right.
Everybody said, you guys say everything that everybody really wants to talk about.
Yeah, we just say it
you
out
said
loud.
you're willing to just get up and just say it on camera so people discuss these things. And it's like, because we just don't care. And that's what I say. I know it's people say, well, Doc, this person in the hood. Trust me, I guarantee that person has many more steps they have to get to climb the ladder than my daughters. My daughters are already starting on the 10th floor. You're in the basement already. So the effort it takes to even get up to the 10th floor is a lot. Our kids, and believe it or not, I know it sounds funny. I mean this sincerely. I'll just use this for example. I take a lot of people to Hawaii. I do. Do you understand there's only a small percentage of people in all of America that have ever been to Hawaii. So with me, you get a higher starting point. Do you understand? And so that's why, so then if we can, and success is contagious, and success, do you understand there's no cap to success? Do you understand that everybody can be successful? Really can be. You understand? And one thing is this, and then we elevate so everybody gets a better starting point that way. So all of us here, regardless of our childhood, you guys, my mom's awesome. You saw her walk out. You know what I'm saying? Here, with a big bottle of Oceans and some of that. And so it's kind of funny.
You need a refill?
That's right. But the idea is this, is I had a great childhood. And the funny part is this, is like, and we didn't have a lot of money, but I had a great childhood and everything. But the idea is this, is like, we all want better for our kids than we had. And didn't have anything wrong. Right. You're saying? So,
I agree.
Well, I think it's important to note though that also like work beats talent when talent doesn't work, because Faith might be starting out on the 10th floor, but someone who's at the basement could outwork her if she doesn't do anything.
I agree.
That's a good point. So what else you guys got? I want to check all the comments this way.
We actually have quite a bit.
Do we do?
Are they? Oh, really?
We're quite busy.
I like it. Lots of comments.
Okay, well, I'll make people mad then.
You go for it.
Okay, we'll bring the
Aaron,
health piece in.
Can you grab me another coconut sparkling water? We got a Hawaiian coconut sparkling water. That stuff on there.
On the floor you could have right there.
Wait, no, I don't want to take yours because you may want more.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
I tried not to pee. Remember?
I'm more independent.
Just go, man. Just go.
What was there? Oh, so a few weeks ago, remember, we talked about energy and vibes, right?
Oh,
And
yeah, it was a great show.
everything is energy and everything is vibration. That's what everything comes down to. And so this will be hard to hear, but everybody needs to hear it anyway. When it comes to health, because I'll bring the health piece in here,
Thank you.
right? The life you live is the life you created. Okay, well, what if you have cancer? Well, like you did that to yourself, and that's really hard to hear, and that's like really mean to say, but I kind of really don't care, because the thing is you can't get cancer, you can't get sick even in general unless you're vibrating at that level, and that's a very, very low vibration. Obviously sicknesses, love and peace and all of those kinds of things are the high vibrations, and courage is like neutral when you look at the scale of emotions. But people need to realize that too, that you actually brought that on yourself. Or like I'll come back to parasites sometimes too. Like, okay, I mean, we all have worms inside of us. We gotta, it's just life.
So I've heard.
And we gotta, cleanse them out every now and then. We're animals too. It's not like we only have to cleanse our horses and dogs. We gotta do it too. But there are people who will have like recurring issues with that. If you're a person who has recurring with issues with that, it's not really a worm problem anymore. Now it's a people problem, because you are attracting parasitic people into your life, and they're sucking everything out of you, and that's what's really going on. And so I think we just need to hit, that piece with the health thing too, because there are some very bad chronic illnesses out there, or
they're emotionally connected.
Yes, and it's very emotional. Everybody's big into the ribbons and the whatever, and you hear the word cancer and everybody's just emotions drop and everything. But it's like, look, you brought that on yourself. You really did, from the choices that you made and the life that you are living, because you're probably not eating good food. You probably aren't drinking good water. You probably aren't moving a whole lot. Even if you are doing some of those things, though, you're still doing something, because you can't get that unless you're vibrating that low.
Mm-hmm. You know what? It's bringing health into it. Someone that I respect. In fact, my middle name is named after him, my Uncle John. I love him. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the weight or the strength that I have, because he knew I had the drive, and my dad and him kind of partnered together, whether it be on purpose or not. But they made me a weight room in the basement, and the old train wheels, all these things. I have a lot of respect for the guy. He's very much like me, where he's even more outdoorsy and fun. He loves guns, all this stuff. He's a good American. Well, fortunately, not to knock on him too much, but he thinks differently apparently with his health, and he took the jab and the boosters, and he had a very
negative reaction.
Was it a stroke or a blood clot? But
Cardiac
I look
event.
at him and I think very much about this statement, and I'm not trying to embarrass him, but it is what it is. Don't think he watched the podcast, anyways. But he goes.
You'd be surprised who watches it.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He just said that he just looked at me like, well, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm supposed to go to the pharmacy. Like, and the first thing I thought in my head was, this is the life you created.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you're still choosing to live in it.
I love him and I respect him, but I can't help him. I think at this point you're either gonna change, but he's probably 70 years old at this point. He's probably not going to change his mind. So it's up to him, and that's the life he chose.
Right.
And I have to just let it go. Otherwise, it'll start eating at us too.
Well, and like the mindset piece of it too, like if you are focused on problems, I've talked about this before too, like the medical system, they're 80% looking at tests and diagnosing. They're 80% focused on problems, and they're 20% focused on solutions, and their solutions are garbage. They're, drugs and surgery, versus like people like us are like 20% care about what a problem is, because at 80% matters, what are you going to do about it? So if you focus on solutions, you find solutions, versus if you're focused on problems, which I think is what a lot of people are doing. They're so focused on the problem. What do you think you're going to find? You're going to find more problems, and this is the life that you're creating for yourself, versus if you look at all the solutions, you're going to just find more solutions. It's the same thing with gratefulness. If you look for things to be grateful for, you're going to find more things to be grateful for. It's not rocket science.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, what's the old saying? It's kind of funny, it popped in my head, but there was like an old story. It's like, it's how you look at it, because all of a sudden there was a farmer who lost his horse, but then because they lost his horse, he had to work on the farm, and then but the person that found the horse bred the horse, and the person broke their back. But then when the draft came, neither one of them had to go to war. So the perspective is, you may have lost horse, may have broke your back, but you had at war. He was saying, it's like, it's all based on perspective that way and everything. But
you never know how it's working out. Everything's working out for you.
Yes. Yeah, well, because the only time you can look back, and it's the only time you can really understand, is when you look back. It's like, yeah.
You can even bring the faith into this thing, with people who are at the disadvantage. We're talking about the basement people, not the 10th floor, okay? There's a wonderful, parable in the Bible about, two farmers. One's praying for rain, and the other one's praying for rain too, but he's also preparing the field. So when the rain came, who do you think was ready to take off and get to the 10th floor? The one that was preparing. A lot of people are sitting there pointing fingers, probably still praying, hoping, but sitting on their knees the whole time praying instead of getting to work. And you can do both. The Lord didn't tell us you have to be on your knees. Get up, move, live your life, persevere. But to persevere, you have to start working and grinding. And I think a lot of people are doing that, and it's a lot easier to just point fingers at somebody else. You're just a hoax. You're no good. Point fingers at the people who are successful to justify why they are the way that they are.
Right. So they can stay there.
It's funny because you guys have a pen and paper. I always tell people, always have something you can write something down very quickly, because I truly believe this is totally nothing more than just my own observation. But I tell people, it's like, all of a sudden, it's like God's gonna open a door for you, and He's gonna give you that thought what to do. And if you don't write it down or take action right away, it's almost like, and all of a sudden you forget it. You're like, where'd it go? It was great. And you're like, no, what was it? I swear He just takes away, because well, you're not going to do it. I got somebody else.
I've legitimately gone running out of the shower to get to my phone, to get to a notepad to write something down, because I'm so afraid of them leaving. Because I have the best thoughts in the car and in the shower.
Yes.
Where I can't be on my phone for either.
Yes.
Except for
some of my best thoughts and ideas come in the shower, or even I'll have a dream. I told you my dream once, ended up being the Terminator for the spoof video. I mean, you just don't know.
Do you know
funny.
why a lot of your good thoughts come in the shower?
It has something to do with the
Grounding.
Yeah.
Water. Grounding. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense.
Electrons, energy, stuff like that.
Yep.
That's what's from.
Yep.
You're actually grounding when you're in the water that way.
Right.
It's like why it's kind of like funny. And we were doing this yesterday and all last week and everything. This is me. I just there's beautiful pools out here. The Ondas has 4 beautiful infinity pools, and I'll barely step foot in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just can't not be in the water and in the ocean. And I will literally sit in there. And Eric, we did this before too. We just sit in the ocean. And we soak in the ocean for hours and just float and just, rotate like a rotisserie chicken to make sure that we don't get our heads too burnt and stuff like that. And shoulders, face, turn around. It's kind of funny. And it's like, and just being there. Oh, it's amazing. And it's in the ground you get from the ocean, the water, everything. It's electrons you get, just incredible. So
it's awesome to get, like, I remember we went to Florida with Dr. Jordan, Beth, and Nurse Lesky. We were sitting there, and I felt kind of groggy getting off the plane.
Yep.
And we get to Florida, and I'll go on the beach. Within 15 minutes, I felt like $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And I don't find that to be a coincidence.
Well, there are plenty of people who live in Wisconsin or will live in anywhere, right? And they have their health issues and they go on vacation and magically they're just fine for that whole time. And then they come back and then they're sick again. It's like, well, you gave your body a break and you got rid of your stress and you went somewhere peaceful and you healed yourself.
And that does wrap around. But let's say this. Now, I believe this can be done. You got to remember, when I had a purge and got rid of so many people out of my life, like I said, almost, a year and a half ago that way, it was, I heard this all the time. I heard this so much. A CEO shouldn't speak that way. A CEO shouldn't be in front of his company saying the word fuck and blah, 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 and all the things the way I do and some of that. A CEO can't be this way. A CEO can't push masculine traits like crazy and feminine, and feminine should be more, and they just had massive woke principles like that way. And I said, and I will stand by this, and no one's proved me wrong, and no pastor has taken me up on this because I invite you on, especially if you're a non-denominational pastor. Non-denominational pastors are just woke pastors. People, I love conservatives like, the church. I'm like, you understand, that's why there's now pride flags and all the bullshit at non-denominational churches. At least Catholics stood for something.
Right.
You're saying they stood like, here's red line in the sand, what we believe in. No, this, this, and this. Non-denominational church is just everything's okay church. That's it. That's why they're woke. They're really the woke people of today. They just call it church.
Yep.
That's why most people that go to church, and I'm sorry, they hate this. That's why they suck, and their life still sucks, even though they go every Sunday. You say you're broke, grace. You're fat, you're you hate your life, you're this. It's like you have just as many problems and depression as the people that don't go to church.
I think that a lot of people go to church just to feel better about themselves
Sure.
and what they did or didn't do that week.
I call my guys every Sunday and say, "Don't go. You better not be going to church."
So we
I do.
I know.
So but here's the thing. It's what you take from church and apply it, to society, to your life, that you should be doing. But they're not. They're going there to feel good about themselves, and that's why I think we're seeing them rotting from the inside out.
Yeah. Well, I said there's a lot of wisdom that we can get from certain teachings that way, and you have to pick through it. Like I said, immunology books in the Bible are so the same. They're so adulterated by people that and what they want in agendas that way. That's why there's 20 different versions plus and stuff.
Yeah,
and I know NAV version just takes out things they don't like, and just that's why there's different verses missing, vice versa. Immunology books. When I first started in college in 1992, my first immunology book, it was they talked about vaccines like a history of it. Now it's just a promotion for vaccines. All your immunology textbooks. Yeah, that's all they are. They've just they've been indoctrinated by the pharmaceutical drug company, and that's why it's just all that. So, long story short, where did we leave off?
I don't know.
No, you're just asking us to add any final thoughts to that statement. So
or any of the contradictory kind of things.
And we went into health.
Because that's what I did.
Yes.
Yeah, you went into health. I confirmed with her, and then we switched over to.
So I think we can agree that nobody has the same starting point.
No.
Agree.
No.
You say, here's one thing that I want everybody to obsess. I think, and here's what happens. What's really funny? And we're going to do our legacy teaching again coming up at the end of the year, like I always do that way. But if you can get obsessed with legacy, you don't care how high you climb the ladder. I'm going to talk about that because what happens, people think like, well, if I want to leave a legacy, I have to own a company. I have to do these things. What's really funny? I heard this from somebody. I don't remember. I wish I could remember the guy's name that way. But he said that if you ever look at some successful family, it wasn't a bunch of people. It was one person in the family that said, no, we're going this direction. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they created a legacy that now, and so if you get legacy minded, you don't care how high you go on a ladder. You care, once again, what you built that can continue even when you're gone. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so if you think of it this way, it's like people say, they want better for their kids. But a lot of times I think they said, well, they're going to give them things instead of train them up to create a legacy beyond and continue what you've done. And I think that's why I'm obsessed with it. That's why people say, Doc, when are you going to retire? I'm like, what do you mean? I don't understand the word retire. You know what I'm saying? What does that mean?
That's for people who don't like the life they've created.
That's the point. They're going to
Ooh,
retire
full
from the
circle.
life that they don't like. And it's like, I want to get, okay. And yes, I know everybody has all their excuses like, well, the job, this, and I'm 50 years old. Well, seriously, if you live till you're 75 years old, you got 25 years.
Yeah.
You got 25. Right now, no matter who you are, you say, 25 years from right now.
If you actually dedicated yourself, you could do so much.
You know what you can do in 5? Do you understand that people
focus.
can, and I've proven this over and over again, you can build wealth in 5 years. In 5 years.
I agree with you.
5.
Here's why. Because
I help people do it all the time. 5 years.
You're training me how to do it because I came from a previous profession of trucking transportation. Right. I was a driver manager. I was a planning manager. It was fun. Nothing to do with what I'm in right now. Right. So I'm only 2.5 years, whatever it is now into it. And I've come a long way. I was started in the warehouse, just boxing, and that's still a huge critical job. Don't get me wrong, but it's just it was just a foot in the door, and now you're pushing me to growth. And obviously, it's only 2.5 years, so I'm looking forward to the 5-year mark to see where I'm at.
Yep. And like I said, and as you continue to grow that way, then you continue to move towards. And then think of it this way, and then when you get to a certain point, that's why there's no end to legacy. There is no, because a lot of people say, well, and because I do like this one, because some people try to rise the corporate ladder fast, and they realize that their ladder is against the wrong building.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
was
but
gonna
when you're
make that
building
analogy,
legacy, you're building something that's going to continue. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why it's like, so my legacy will continue even if I die tomorrow or if I die 50 years from now. And if I die 50 years from now, guess what happens? I will probably be doing very similar things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And because once again, you're building upon what can be passed down and keep that family in a great direction.
Oh, I want you to do a rise and grind when you're 99 years old.
That'd be awesome.
Epic.
That would be
epic.
Yes.
How about the bench press? 225 pounds.
That's right. And I will do it.
And I'll be 92 yelling at you.
That's
Come
right.
on, old man.
You can do it. Put your teeth back in.
Or don't.
I don't. Yeah.
Scarier if you don't.
That's right. Exactly.
Stay scary.
All right. So, good discussion.
Good
Now,
stuff.
next one. And it's really funny because I think this is going to equate where we're at today. So here's my statement. Here we go. It's wrong for the government and business to be intertwined. It's wrong for the government and business to be intertwined. Agree or disagree?
Oh, my first. Sorry.
Yes.
Oh, I agree.
I agree.
Yes, because obviously we wrote
Shocking.
these together. Shocking.
Yeah.
We agree on this.
Shocking.
Okay. That I think is a big no-no in every single way. Because that's where corruption really happens. And that's why you see you watch the Republican debate the other night, and it was interesting because at least Vivek just tore them apart. Because Republicans are just as crooked as Democrats. Democrats just are really dumb.
Right.
They just are really dumb people. They really are. Because you have to believe some dumb shit to believe their party. Republicans are just as corrupt. They're both corrupt, but one's just a really dumb party.
They
You
just
see 'em?
well, they don't have any good policy, so they have to go on emotion.
Yeah, they have to go. They have to run on social issues, and they have to do. They have to tell everybody that everything's okay. And that's why I said they're so into feelings that what happens is they have to tell it's really funny because and because and I believe this, and I totally believe this because I get to speak at a lot of these places, and once again that's why when you talk about offending people, I don't care if people are offended ever, because what happens this. You ever think of when change happens? It's never inspirational change. No one gets up in the morning and no one is like their life sucks and now they're inspired to change. There's enough pain. Do you understand? That's why people say, oh, they're just going to step away. Wish you the best. I don't wish you the best. I wish you the worst. I tell them, never wish anybody the best, because then they stay the crappy, shitty person they still were. They just bring it to somebody else.
Yep.
Think about that. I never wish anybody the best. I'm like, screw you, you suck. I wish you the worst. Because then maybe you become the best with enough pain. You say, and so that's why it's like, so you see like some of these things happen. You gotta be like, except like people say that they're this, and their feelings hurt if you don't. Well, guess what happens? Maybe your feelings should be hurt. It's like, I don't know if it was me, Is there anybody here in this room? We're going to ask the females because then I won't get in trouble. Because you guys, girls were talking about it. There is some women out on the beach that should not be wearing bikinis.
Agreed.
Look at all the women yell.
Agree.
All right, hey, all you women, it's like they're shaking their head. Damn, girls, you're not
cute.
beautiful that big of ass. And the worst part is you have a freaking thong on. And I'm sorry. We just see it
can't even
naturally.
see
You can't not see it. I wish I could not see that.
It.
I don't care if you're.
All the
I don't-
cellulite bumps.
Yes.
You don't want that in your memory.
It's those moments you're
Every
going.
I
"Now
want to
know
go
why I-"
golfing more every time I see the bumps in their asses.
And now I know that those little bumps in the ass might be the reason why someone gets pushed over to be gay. Is that my options today?
If that is, man, Travis, I think
It
you might be
is.
right on that one.
All of a sudden, the guy walks back off the beach with a lisp.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was crazy.
Well, women are perfect and they can just do whatever they want, and it's totally fine. Obviously.
Oh, today it's like you can't criticize a woman for anything.
Well, no.
You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
It's like you know.
No, we should be criticized.
You tell them they're
We're
fat, you
crazy.
body shaming. Well, guess what? You're unhealthy. Knock it off.
Yeah.
Do you saying? It's like, my goodness. It's, wow. Wait, why did I bring that up? It was
I
just,
have no idea.
I don't know, but it
Did
was
you
a
bring
good
that up?
question.
it was a good thing. So, oh, but we got to go back. But
Democrats are dumb.
oh yeah, it's like, yeah,
What's that?
they try to body positivity, all the bullshit.
Yeah.
They try
that's
to
just
tell,
emotion.
you know, it's like,
Abortion's emotion.
yes, it is. And
On both
once again-
sides.
And once again, this was brought up by one of our congressmen. I thought was great because I've always said this. It's like the women that are screaming about abortion, no one wants to screw you anyways and get you pregnant. That's the reason why they want abortion, because they won't screw you unless you get it. You know saying? Because you never see really hot chicks screaming for abortion.
Nope.
You don't.
No, you don't.
And actually, that's why they even studied it. A lot of ugly chicks are actually Democrats because they don't have a guy that will take care of them, so they got to have a guy which is called the government.
Yeah.
It's not a joke. It's the same exact
Daddy.
thing. And that's why you see really hot women are mainly conservative that way.
I'll tell you what. I mean, even when I was coaching at Bayport, and I was also the speed and strength coordinator, and I was awesome at it. I wasn't certified to be a athletic trainer, but they still let me because they saw the results. The kids gravitated towards me, but all these people, you need all these things, even like to be a special, every little thing you need. The government needs to have their fingerprint on it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
You know, and they're overstepping their boundaries completely.
Right.
Not to mention when we all get our paychecks, you see how much they take out.
Right.
You know, and we see how everybody else in the nation or other nations get the money and we don't.
Right.
You know, so it's just that we can go any angle, which we have a lot of time to do that actually. But my point is, it's the government. It's way overstepped.
Do you know there's some kind of study out there? I should find it and we should like publish it or something like that, because there's some study showing that if you give men some more testosterone, they start voting Republican.
They do. They just came out with by nature. Well,
Everybody get the testosterone.
well, like I said,
I mean, the soy latte pussified beta. Oh, I almost fucked it up.
yes.
They need the tea. They need
Yes.
the tea levels.
Well, and I love, you know, it's really funny. And the Republican Party is so weak. They're so weak. They can't get up and say this stuff that we say.
No.
Yet behind closed doors. See, I'm so sick of
They think it,
people
though.
that will talk behind closed doors than on camera. I hate that. I hate you people like crazy. I think you're fucking losers. And most of you guys go to church every Sunday too. You know what I'm saying? I watch guys walk out to this thing, sit on the thing out here, and they look at the girls down there that have fake boobs, like, oh, it's awesome. But then the minute they get to church, like, well, that's horrible. I don't look at it. You know what I'm saying? That point?
She should cover up.
Yeah, she should cover up. And it's like,
You
but they're
don't
out down there
think
going,
that.
damn, nice swimsuit. I'm like going, no, just say it. Well, I can't. Well, then, you know, it's like, see, that's the thing. It's like, just be who you really are that way. And if someone doesn't love you because of it, then guess what? Do you say That's why they said the RNC, said they just, Vivek just destroy them. It's really true. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah, he did a good job. With
he
that.
did a really good job. Now, Jerome, I don't like the way he made his money. You know what I'm saying? Because I think he ripped people off when it came to creating a drug company. But the idea is this, but he's at least speaking the right things. The rest of them are always they want to stay in the club. Remember, politics is no different than country club, just like medical field. It's country club. That's all it is and stuff. So it's like, so get some backbone. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's the thing. It's like they have to try to appeal to people the most. It's like, do you understand that most people suck? So how do you appeal to them? You actually you validate their bad stuff. It's like, which is horrible. You know what I'm saying? And so, and remember, people can disagree with me, but how's your life? You know what I'm saying? Are you sitting in Hawaii, or are you actually sitting around just going, oh, my life sucks? And do you think the government is going to ship you to Hawaii? They don't make that much money.
Maybe
You
to
saying?
kill you and put you in a camp.
I mean, the people that
They would.
lost their homes only got $600.
Yep. But then Ukraine got 47 more billion.
billion.
They ended up 250 billion. Yet Hawaii can't get the money to rebuild. Well, I said, if people don't think that's strategic, it's kind of crazy. We drove through. It's funny how it's like, these beach areas that are going to now have big hotels on now because now they're going to push them out that way. It's just going to automatically, corporate structure is going to move in. So business and government working together, hey, for the betterment of the people. Anybody tells you they're doing something for the betterment of the people that way, automatically get rid of them. Get rid of them out of your life.
Right.
They literally should be shot. Do you say them? Because like I said, it's like, because once again, their FBI is going to be all over my ass again. Because I said, when I saw a certain person said that if they showed up at my house and think you're going to shot
mean
my
they should
property.
get shot with a vaccine?
Yes,
That's
vaccine.
just what you meant.
That's right. I would give them a lot of vaccines
'Cause
and
you want them to be healthy.
then go for a run and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, it's
Go
really
for one
funny.
while I shoot ya.
It's kind of hilarious because, and so many people, and this is where it's kind of strange, because all this comes down to this is like, people say, violence is not the solution. You're right. It's the answer.
Like my kid kicking the other kid in the crotch on the playground.
Well, we need to get back to fighting, and we need to get back to
Yeah,
fighting.
we need to have a statement around that like kids should be allowed to fight on the playground.
All of my best
That's-
friends growing
Yep.
up, I've punched, or I've received a punch from them, or an elbow, or a headbutt, or both, all three, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, because what they do is what they think is people are going to do like illegal violence and murder and stuff like that. It's like, no, and that's wrong. You're saying, but the idea is this, but a little bit of fear of getting punched in the face. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, see, the politicians don't get fear getting punched in the face because they'll sit there and hide behind they'll say the rule of law. Dude, the only reason why you make bad decisions is because you're not get scared to punch in the face.
Hey, Doc, we have a good question here.
What's that?
It says, this is from Fat Monkey Fishing.
What
Do
is
you
it?
think
What's the name?
it's this guy's website? Do you think businesses involved in flight, explosives, and radioactive or hazardous and poisonous materials should be unregulated?
Okay, so here's what happens.
Yeah, we
When
can
you-
get back
when
to
you
our
look-
statement a little bit more.
What's that?
I said, yeah, we could get back to our statement a little bit more, actually.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Wait, what was our
We
statement again?
were kind of veering off.
That's cool because we can
Yeah.
veer off. We're
I
on
know.
vacation.
We can do whatever we want.
We're doing this for you guys.
We do whatever we want all the time.
Yeah, we do.
So here's the thing I posed that when we had a politician on things. Okay, here's what happens. Do you know how they used to regulate things before? So you know how public used to regulate things before?
I don't.
You did something bad, you were taken out the back of the woodshed.
Oh, yeah.
Do you
that.
see him? And see, so here's what happens. Whenever you get government, and remember, regulation wasn't for public safety. Regulation was for actually political control and also keeping competition out. Do you see what I'm saying? Because here's what happens and they have made everybody so docile. You did this to a community, the community would violently go after people like this. You see him?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Companies and people don't fear violence anymore, so what do? They actually think, well, we can get away with it. What's worse than happen? We already pay off politicians. So that's the thing. So if you really think government is regulating things, so then what about our
they're
foods?
not.
What about vaccines? What about all stuff like this? Honestly,
Regulating for the people who pay them.
yeah, they put enough regulation to make to make you peasants think that everything is okay. You understand? And it's really funny if you think about this. The public is actually can be here. Watch, let the public decide. And when we do this, if you have a good product, guess what happens? The public will decide. It really will.
Quickly.
Quickly, very quickly. And if you start doing things wrong, guess what? Bud Light learned really what happened.
Very
You know
quickly.
what I'm saying? You start doing something wrong.
Yeah.
They lost like crazy and they changed really quickly. But see, that's why journalists were so important before. They brought out public things to the public of why they were doing bad things. And that's why the government is involved in trying to regulate things. You saying? Because we got to stop them from talking about the vaccine. Why? Because Pfizer said so. I said until the Pfizer's grandkids are put to death, nothing's going to change.
Exactly.
See, like I said, and it's really funny. I said, and I'm not going to be able to do it, just so you may there, but we're just talking hypothetically right now. But here's what happens: this that if all of a sudden it's really funny. So let's say the president of Pfizer, if let's say someone took him out, there'd just be another snake. You start taking out
already
their
groomed
kids
them, yeah.
and start taking out their grandkids that way, and then people go, "Holy crap,
Pain.
pain," because no one really cares about the Pfizer's, president. But you go, "Oh man, what if I get in there and start making bad decisions and they come after my kids?" Guess what happens? I know it sounds disgusting, but think about it this way. Do you really think Anthony Fauci cares about what you think? Do you really think about it? He's protected because he's regulated that way. He is the regulating body that way. How's that working?
Yeah.
Do you see him?
Well, here's a funny thing. What's the guy's name? He's the guy who always promotes everything for madness. He's the stupid, crazy stuff. He's not even American. He's an old man. He's like 93 years old. George Soros. People think that once he dies, it's over. No, his son is like 66.
Right.
Or 64, and he's ready to
There's a video.
grab that
You
baton.
can't even criticize
There's a video-
George Soros without
yeah.
being called anti-Sem anymore.
Well, he needs
There's a
to-
in
video.
general.
There's a video
needs
George
to be
Soros
beaten.
talking about that he is a godlike, and he believes that
Yeah.
he was
Yeah, I've
going to
seen
be that
that.
way and stuff. And it's really funny because I have to, sorry, everybody kisses Joe Rogan's ass because they do it for business purposes. That's one thing. I'm not saying Joe doesn't do some good things, but everybody kisses his ass, won't criticize him because he's popular. But here's one thing about it is like, I remember he had somebody on his show talking about George Soros. He goes, "You don't even talk about George Soros and all the corruption he does. I won't even listen to you that way." I'm like, yeah, because you have no fucking clue. You're saying, and now it's like going. Now all this stuff comes out. It's like people like going. Everybody that was sitting on the fence of the vaccine. Now they come out and like, "Oh yeah, the vaccine." I'm like, no, shut up. You don't get the right to speak. You weren't there the whole time, fighting against it the whole time, and now you're going to come out and be an armchair quarterback.
Right.
You're saying, and it's like, of course he has. I mean, look at his history. He's done that way. Look at their money goes. You're saying, look where people's money goes. Their time, energy, money, and you can tell what they care about. You're saying, where's your time, energy, money? Where's the RNC's money coming from? Do you know what I'm saying? Where's the DNC's money coming? Where are all the things coming from? So isn't it crazy? I was thinking about it this way. Planned Parenthood gets what, 500 million plus a year from the government, and then they donate money to the DNC. So they get tax dollars and they donate to the DNC.
Just a revolving door.
That should be illegal. They're taking my tax dollars, giving it to a nonprofit. You see him? And you know how all this corruption goes away though? Stop having people you didn't vote for get money. Since when does any organization that we did not vote for get money? The FBI shouldn't get money. CIA shouldn't get money. We didn't vote for them. How many of you guys voted for the director of the CIA and FBI? No. They're not supposed to be. The people that are supposed to make those decisions are our voted elected officials. Do you understand? So that's why it's kind of funny. That's why. So there's no accountability. So that's why when people say, so that's why, like here, so you're going to have a regulation agency. No. Listen, if a politician knew that they're going to be held accountable and voted out and stuff like that, they wouldn't allow bad things to happen as far as like corporate things. Always create the EPA. The EPA gets its money from the people that poison stuff. How fucking stupid are you?
Right.
This is why when you correct something and you go clean slate, because someone else is going to pick up that baton. Going back to the source thing, which is still on the same topic. You go back to the Old Testament here. I love bringing the Bible back into it because you can learn a lot from it. So all you anti-Christians out there, that's fine, but you'll still learn history. And you watch where King Saul, he was told by Samuel to eliminate everybody, even the livestock, and he didn't listen. Why? For his own selfish ambitions, or he was impatient, whatever. But he thought there's a better way of doing things. But when you leave someone alive, like in those days, they're gonna just do the same thing they were doing before, right? So you're right. You got to get rid of all of them. Fire all the government. Get rid of all of them.
Well, remember our Constitution.
Some of their heads off.
Well,
Yes.
see, our Constitution
Insane.
set up federal and state governments
House law.
to do proper things, but then when they started to say, okay, listen, it's because you could vote for the people that ran things. So that's why when they start creating all these government organizations that you did not vote through, they're not really legal, guys. An EPA is not really legal. The NIH is not illegal. That's why they say we're taking their advice. Why? We don't have to take their advice. They're not a legal organization. It's just that people just want to go through their daily lives. Oh, I don't want to fight. It's like then once again, then you gotta be. I said, well, if you don't want to fight, then put your money behind somebody that will fight. Do you understand? That's what I tell people. I know what you care about: your time, energy, and money. But see, if they can keep people poor and keep people with no money, keep people addicted to the system. Well, if I don't get the vaccine, guys, you think you're joking? There was a question that came out the other day. For digital currency, will you put the chip in your arm? Do you see what I'm saying?
Hell no.
Came out the other day. It's like there's just more tracking, more regulation, more stuff. And if you don't, they're going to shut down your banking.
Yep.
It's like, you got to be ready to fight.
Because you said something offensive. They're just going to shut off your car and shut down your money. And take it. That's why they want everything digital.
Well, that's cute.
Yeah.
Yep. But see, what's going to happen is this. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where there will be enough rebellion where violence will come. So I'm predicting right now. I'm predicting that. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm saying I'm predicting that violence will come. I fight with lawyers constantly. Do you say I'm?
Yes, you do. And
I
you're
fight
very
with
good
I
at
hire
that.
constant lawyers fighting. So my fighting is actually getting behind the legal system and trying to do it that way and stuff like that. So it's like, so when I'm fighting in a courtroom for people's rights and stuff, and including my own.
Thank you.
Stuff. So it's
Appreciate
like,
that. You've
yeah,
done it
but
many times.
I know it's going to eventually come a point where it's going to be like, there's going to be enough people that are going to be frustrated that they don't have the ability to hire lawyers, so they're going to take matters in their own hands, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Do you see him?
Some people need to go in the wood chipper. Just saying.
Yeah.
Put it on
Head-
slow
heads
motion.
on- heads
Your
on
iPhone slow
stakes.
motion.
Yep.
Guillotine, heads on stakes in
Yep.
the White House lawn. As a reminder, you don't treat people like
Yes.
that.
Yep. It's the
Olivia
truth.
Olivia is on every single time for the podcast.
Yeah.
We should have brought Olivia out to Hawaii. You're saying?
No.
She seems to be the
Next
biggest
time.
fan so far of our show that way. So we'll have to-
Awesome.
yes, Olivia.
Hey, Olivia.
I hope we're doing great. So yes. So I think that, because see, what they do is this. Because here's what happens. And think about this. I came up with a really funny analogy. I'm sorry, it's a good one and stuff like that. Is like, if you keep government, in the government's role, keep business in its role, which good. Government does not produce anything. Somebody tell me something government produces.
Annoyance.
Taxes.
Yeah, it doesn't produce anything. Okay, so therefore it's meant to have a certain purpose. Capitalism, once again, is actually, if you think about this is the coolest thing about capitalism. And I'm going to give you my analogy here. So if you think of it this way, let's say that I have a good and service, okay, and I, give it or perform it to you that way. What do you say to me?
Thank you.
And then you turn around and exchange value and choose money or some monetary thing, and you pay me, and I say what back to you?
Thank you.
So whenever it's capitalism, there's thank you. Both parties are satisfied. So ladies, I got a question for you.
Oh, I know where you're going. At least
I
hope
want you
hope
to
I
have
do.
sex with your man for the next 20 times, and you let him finish and you don't. He's going to be like, oh, honey, thank you. And you're going to be like, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. See, the first time she'd be like, oh, you're welcome. Second time, you're welcome. Third time, you're welcome. Fourth time, there is no you're welcome
No.
anymore. That's the government. Do you understand? They're like, thank you for your taxes. You're like, my ass hurts.
They don't even use spit anymore.
Yes, you didn't use coconut oil. It hurts.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
It's very true.
No, do you get my point?
It just puckered up a little bit.
It's like, because it's not a joke, because what happens is this. In true capitalism, now watch, when government gets involved in business, capitalism is thrown out the door. Because what they do is they create regulations that nobody can actually compete with, so it leaves the people that are already there in control of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because once again, that's why they want you. That's why they would try to regulate everything.
Right.
Because people think regulation is about protect. Guess what they? Anytime that they're telling you they're doing to protect you, fucking run. Do you know what I'm saying? Run like crazy.
Yep.
Because regulation was meant to keep out competition. That's what it's for.
Right.
It's meant to
It's
keep out
working.
competition. You know what I'm saying? But if you have a better product and service, capitalism will win every single time.
Right.
But if you're trying to hold on to your product and service, regulation is the best way to do it.
Right. Well, that's one of the biggest reasons that government and business shouldn't be intertwined, though, because if you think about the people who are in government, the vast majority of them, they never run a business. They don't know how to do any of that. So why are they making all these rules for all these people? I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I don't hold a license for what I do, and that's somewhat on purpose, because then I can't be regulated and I can't be told what to do, and then I'm not controlled, and I don't like to be controlled, and I'm just trying to get other people to live their lives so that they are also not controlled, because I think if we can do that and all just live our lives and live better lives, we can get government to 10% of the size that it is now, because that's really honestly probably all that's needed. And then on the health side of things, because that's what we care about, I want to see the size of the medical system greatly reduced, which will also just ultimately help accomplish my bigger goal of bankrupting big pharma. But I don't know, freedom's a big piece in this too. And I think that when we look at that, it's people need to act like high value Americans. And what are high value Americans? On the show, we talk about them being the men who have their mind, muscle, and money together, their 3 M's, and then the women who have their 3 S's together, their sexy, support, and serene. And when you do that, you become high value. And that ultimately is what helps you become more freer, because everybody now has this idea that freedom is somebody else who's coming to save them, that there's some kind of hero that's out there to save them, especially with all these campaigns and debates and stuff like that going on. They're looking for the person who's going to come into the White House and save them, but the truth is that's not happening. There's no political candidate who's coming to save you, not even Trump, because freedom is ultimately something that you grant yourself, because when you become free, that's the only time that you are really autonomous and not dependent on anyone else.
Right, but then freedom means you have to have certain self-responsibility.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the
Yeah.
whole point.
And it's like, because here's what happens is, because when there's freedom, there's people that will run with it. And so, and there's people that'll be like, well, I just can't keep up with that person. So they have $1 million. Well, I believe I should have some, but I can't take it from them because I'd go to prison. So I'm going to vote a person that says, hey, guess what happens?
I'm going to make you give them.
I'm going to make you do it and stuff like that. And it's like, and therefore now it's not listed as theft, but it really is.
Right.
Taxes are just theft. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if you look at it and people say, you know, well, what? No. See, they always like to talk about the exceptions. What about roads and everything like that? Well, if you go back to how taxes were ran initially, federal tax is the reason why we have these problems. It's not state tax. It's actually federal tax. The federal government did not have the tax money they did have. None of these problems would exist because there would be no problems and stuff like that. And that's why actually my favorite candidate right now is RFK Jr. By far. That's why he had to leave his party, because once again, he was just a party because he was his family history that way. But he's going to run as independent. He's going to do really well. And I'd rather see him win than Trump, actually.
So at least get a lot of awareness out of it. And that's good.
I like those two, and I'll take the winner, however it goes.
Yep. Well, remember, I always tell people is this: regardless who president is, once again, it doesn't dictate your life. May make it a little harder. Do you say having Biden as a president was much harder than having Trump as a president and stuff? But something, don't mean this negatively, but I got richer. I make more money. I have a better life, even though Biden's in thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it doesn't stop me. Now does it make it a little more difficult? Yeah. Do I pay more interest? Yep. Do I do more things? Yep. Do I have the things? Do I actually hire less employees right now because the way Biden runs the economy? Yep. So actually, he's really hurting the economy. He really is, because I have to pay more stuff in that I didn't have to do before and stuff. So I actually make less. So I can only hire. It said I've hired a lot of employees over the last 2 years, but I could have done more.
Could be more, yeah.
And stuff. So that's why when business and government gets involved, it's a bad thing. It really is, and because it's not really business. It's not capitalism when they get involved. It never is. There is no capitalist aspect when they get involved.
They're not interested in that though, because they're just interested in control.
Yes, exactly. And they want to control certain things, and that's why it's really sad. So,
America was built on, leaving a place that had a tyrant as king, right? And now we have a tyrant in office.
Yep.
And it's horrible. And we've had him for a while, but this one just really stings. This
Yeah.
is like the real nasty fish you find in
He
your...
shits his pants.
Yeah, he does that too. God, I forgot about that. That's just embarrassing.
Just saying. That's where it's coming
While
from.
he's raising our taxes.
yeah. Well, Well, on the funny part is if people don't realize this, once again, the RNC is just as retarded as the DNC and stuff. If you really think Biden is running the country, if you ever think these politicians run the country, I'm involved in politics. I am. Do you say I'm? And I talk to a lot of politicians, and they beg me for money constantly and stuff. And you'll have some decent ones that vote properly that way, but they're more on the local level. Do you say I'm?
Right.
But there's not one federal senator. It doesn't matter who it is that doesn't get capital money that way. It doesn't matter if you're Ron Johnson, who I'm a fan of that way I am, but he gets money. Do you say I'm? And so he got really good on the vaccine issue for a while and stuff that way. But some of the politicians, I'm not saying he did this, but some politicians just kind of have to stick out. So they do what? They talk about certain things, but they all get big corporate money. Heck, I even a guy I like, he's in a district where there's a big builder. And of course, when the big builder needs something, they call the politician. That's not capitalism.
No.
If you're that good, you don't have to worry about stuff like that. Do you understand? So it's like, yeah. That's one thing I love about my business. There's not one thing that any government official can do for me. Not one. There's not one thing. So any money, my money goes to that way. It's actually supporting people that are going to support the freedom, vote for freedom. You know what I'm saying? And vote for less government and less stuff going on that way and keeping people out of people's lives. So, yes.
Government, you suck.
Yep. But you know why it sucks? I'm gonna blame. You know what happens? There's so many people that sat in church yesterday. Today's 2
days ago. It's
Yeah, 2 days
Tuesday.
ago. Yeah,
Because it's podcast day.
that's right.
It's
podcast
Tuesday.
day. There's so many people that sat in church, say they love Jesus, they right do thing, and they're more concerned about the Packer game on Sunday than their corrupt local or state or federal politician do anything.
Or about you saying fuck.
Yeah, but or like your friend that's more worried about said fuck. Well, guess what? Fuck
That's not
you.
what she's worried about.
Do you say it? And it's like,
She's worried about other things.
yes.
Other people are worried about you saying fuck. I think you need to say it more. But
Yes. Well, it's really funny. It's like I love that. Here's what happens. You ever notice this? This is woke churches. Everything's grace, 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 grace. Everything. There could be people doing horrible things. Grace, 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 grace. But then if you're within their camp and you call yourself a Christian and I say fuck, like he is horrible. He is this. Are you fucking kidding me? There's people doing horrible things. I'm fighting for your right, you dumb assholes, and stuff like that. And you're more worried that way I talk than anything else. Yet I'm wealthy. Yet guess what happens? Judge me by my fruit. I probably, if you want to go apples, I outdo most of you. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't mean people's room, but I'm saying people are critical of me. Let's go apples. Do you know what I'm saying? Your influence compared to my influence. Your wealth compared to my wealth. All things. And how do I build my wealth? Capitalism. Thank you. Do you know what I'm saying? I never got government money. I never got anything of that stuff like that. I just actually produced a good service and good that people wanted. You can't force it. I don't get government money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah.
nobody has to come see you.
Nobody has to. It's a choice. It's a choice. They choose to come see me. There was a transaction, aka a visit and things like that, and they were happy with it. And so they said thank you, and they came back. You know what I'm saying? And I put more happy things out there, more happy capitalism. You know what I'm saying?
And little happy trees.
Yes.
Happy trees.
And then I just bought more happy houses and more happy things and more offices and more stuff. And then we put a good restaurant out there and makes more people happy. And they come in. You know what I'm saying? It's just yeah. So
It's easy to make people happy with lattes.
yes,
Pharmacy.
good organic lattes.
Unless they are a what?
Oh, unless they're a soy latte pussified beta male.
Just
Yes.
to clarify, yeah.
We don't have
We don't have
soy
soy
at the
there.
pharmacy. That's right. Well, to keep the testosterone decent. So, all right. Well, great show today, guys. Great stuff going on. Any final comments you guys got?
Reminder, I have a manual that will be coming out, I'll just say soon, on men and women and how we should be acting. I'm working on that right now, but launch date is to be determined. Dana Disagrees on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Travis.
Well, I'm happy to be in Hawaii. Thank you for allowing me to suffer with you. We appreciate that.
Yes.
I also will be doing not a podcast, a webpage on Instagram. I believe I have Eric, who is helping you out. He's going to be helping me out too. So stay tuned on that. We will.
No, not too much time though, Eric. I need you. Like,
I'm bigger. Listen to me. Anyways,
I'm cuter.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta watch that with you.
I'm staying out of this one.
You're teaching me how to.
I'll beat your ass.
You're teaching me how to have a nice ass.
Second nicest. Anyways,
Yeah.
no, but seriously, no, this is fun. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's fun.
And I'm just gonna wrap it up by saying I'm going to go to the gym. I had some fun today.
We did push-ups too on the
we did
catamaran.
push-ups. You know what? And just to sum it up, we work
Wait.
hard, we play hard. Oh,
Before you go on, because hold that thought, because I'll forget otherwise. Okay, so we're on the beach yesterday, and we had a whole group of Wellness Way people start doing push-ups, and it kind of got a little bit. Everybody started kind of copying us, and then people were cheering for us as we went up and did push-ups. We went and did 20. We go back to the water, hang out for a while, come back up and do it again. And even Felicity, my 10-year-old, was out there doing them that way to the point where people started clapping. We do them. They thought it was so entertaining. I'm like, come on, join us. And then get this, Captain Timothy on the catamaran, remember that? He's like, captain's got to do push-ups too. And he went down with us that way.
That's
so
awesome.
doing our physical fitness and stuff like that daily is here.
You know why you did that? That's actually wonderful. Here's my final thought. I love Rocky 3. All right, it's a wonderful story. It's obviously a movie, but what I love about it is this: it really goes back to our statements. You have Clubber Lang, who's played by Mr. T, right, and you have Rocky. Now Rocky came from the same place Mr. T did. But at this point, he was a multimillionaire, very successful, had many wins, and he was complacent, right? And then you have Mr. T, who is like a dog on the bone, the way Rocky used to be.
Yep.
Actually, I would even say harder than Rocky. He worked harder than Rocky.
Yep.
And he worked, and he worked, and he worked, and he whooped the crap out of him.
Yep.
He came from a place in life that was probably like Shannon Sharp and Sterling Sharp, probably, just tiny little home out in the middle of nowhere, full of mold and just ready to fall apart any moment. And he grinded. So I'm here to encourage everybody. If you were in that situation where you're starting in the basement versus the 10th floor, get to work.
Yep.
Get to work. Stop sitting here and pointing fingers. And the government wants you to do nothing. They want you to stay. They'll give you just enough to live and not overpower them and become successful. That's just how it is. You have to do it. You have the freedom. This is still America. You have the freedom to pull yourself up, get out of the basement, probably your mom's basement, and you have to start working.
Good one.
Stop relying on the government and start relying on your own talents and efforts. Like you said, God gave us talents. Use them. We all have them different. Some people love art. Some people are athletes. Some people are doctors. Some people, whatever it is, whatever your skill set is, start working at it. Because how is it working out for you right now? I was one of them. I was a fat, depressed, just listen to the government, listen to my teachers, all the people that told me I was not going to be anything. I'm a good guy. I'm pretty fun. I'm in good shape. I'm a pleasant person to be around. I love the Lord. I love encouraging people. So stop listening to all the haters out there. Get out of the basement and get to work. And you can get there. You know what? He said 5 years, you can make a lot of money. So obviously it's going to take time, but it's not going to take your whole life. Start at 5 years.
No, remember the whole work beats talent when talent doesn't work. They all want us to be fat, sick, and stupid is what they really want. We need to all be healthy, wealthy, and intelligent.
Mama said they my magic shoes.
What's still saying is like, well, wait, no, obesity runs in my family. No blender runs in your family.
Exactly.
You tell it this is where it runs out.
I'm going to write that one down. That was good.
That was a good one. Hey? So what we got here? Travis.
Oh,
Thanks,
yeah.
Travis.
Oh,
Travis, thank you, buddy.
Thanks,
yeah,
Travis.
we said Travis at the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
Yes, Travis is awesome. Thank you,
Yes.
Travis, for doing all this stuff. Thank you.
For everybody who's doing
Travis is
it.
always behind the scenes in the studio with me. Usually Saturday morning, he's there early with me. It's kind of awesome. So, yes, it's not been you and me for the last couple weeks, and it won't be me for another 3 weeks that way. So it's gonna be kind of awesome. But awesome. Thank you guys for all being here. And the one thing I do want to say is, let's say you're a person at the bottom right now. Okay, you need help? Message me. Call me. Come have coffee with me. Success, believe it or not, it's slightly funny. People say secret of success. Actually, you want something I'm gonna tell you right now? There's not that many secrets. There's not. It's really quite easy. You saying? It's just that you'd be willing to put in the work. And if you put in the work, there's not anybody I know that can't be successful. And there's going to be some God-given talent that you do have. It's just that here's the tough part. Bringing that idea after having a lot of old patterns and stuff like that sometimes is difficult. It really is. You know what I'm saying? It's like if you're fat, to get skinny, it takes a lot of work. But guess what happens? You got to bring that talent out of you that way. So you need some help. No joke. I've helped a lot of people go from broke to millionaire. You know what I'm saying? And they're young. They had to do it. They had to work with me on the process that way. But they did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the cool thing. And Durham, you could have had something and you could have lost everything. Just because you lost everything doesn't mean you can't build it again. Do you understand?
Right.
We've all had
People do it all the
failed
time.
things in our life. We all have.
Probably
you
going to
know?
build it stronger the second time.
Yeah, but you know how you can really do it much faster and better and have less chance of failure? Seek wisdom.
People.
Yep.
Seek wisdom from people that have done it. Do you understand? And do you know that most people that have had success, they have no problem sharing it with you and tell you how it's done.
Agreed.
Because success makes more success. It's not the way around. If I help you get more successful, I don't get less successful. It's totally opposite. You get more successful and stuff. And then success breeds more success. It really does. So if you're struggling right now, give me a call. And one thing, just like in Instagram, when people message me, they're so surprised that I'm messaging them. Like, you're on my page. Why would you be surprised that I messaged you back? The only reason when sometimes you get Dr. Luke's or the doctors is because I might be busy. I might be doing something. So they're on there. They answer the questions. And we have the people that can do it. So once again, thank you guys. Thank you, Eric. Thank you, Travis. Thank you, Joshua. He's around here somewhere. Thank you, Miranda.
Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
Yes. And because once again, in beginning of January, start doing a little different things. We're going to start pushing out there a little bit more. So it's kind of funny. We got enough content behind that we can start building a little bit more and building the page. So I will not be there next week, will I?
No, you'll be suffering here.
I'll be gone.
Well, you won't be in Wisconsin, but you will be on the podcast. I don't know
'cause
if you
we have
know
a
that.
recorded
Yeah,
one.
because we have a recorded one.
We have a recorded one.
You will
It'll
be here.
it'll
You're going to
a-
be here next week.
It'll be a beautiful show next week. So that, but the next weeks I won't be on there because I'll be gone. We got some
But
more
one week
talks
you
got to
won't,
do.
And then you will be on again.
That will be on
actually.
again. Nice. Man,
We worked it out.
Okay, good. You know it. You know it more than I do.
Yeah,
So,
I know what's up.
All right. All right,
keep you
guys.
guys
So
in line.
from Hawaii, Travis wants to give another beautiful look of our view out from our nice villa here. That movie that we with Heather, what's her name? You go the white bikini.
Yeah.
Yes.
With
That's
his big
a
old
good
chest hair. We're at 2
I hope you manscaped. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys next week.